Alright, so Real Boss and Richey dropped Public Housing Part 2. Today I made a beat for it. We're gonna deconstruct the melody first, and then we're gonna get into the drums, so let's get it. Before we get into the melody, y'all know my drum kit is out, bro. If you ain't bought it yet, you missing out, bro. Got 808s, bonus loops, anything you need to make dark beats, so get that shit. Alright, so it looks very complicated right now, but I'm gonna deconstruct it step by step, layer by layer. So alright, so for the main melody right here, I used Expand. It's the first VST I opened. I used Sheet Lightning from Soft Pads preset 35, and I laid this down right here. Also changed the root note. So I went into third step, I believe. Yeah, and I laid down some basic notes. It's just follows the root note right here, D, and then I put an A sharp and an A in there. It's like the half note changes that like build some tension in the melody. So that was a good foundation. Then I rendered it out right here. I didn't put any effects on it yet, but right here I did. So I rendered that out, normalized it right here because it was pretty quiet. Put it to a mixer track. I EQ'd out the lows. Then I put some Portal on it. I'll get to that later. And I put some Valhalla Vintage Verb on it just to give it some space. So what I did is I made an automation clip for Portal right here. And I made this little peak right here. It sounds like this. So it's very subtle instead of what I had before. So I went into the Illusions bank and I used the Cubes preset for that. Yeah, that's the basic melody. So next I just followed the root notes with Nexus Grand Piano. Turn out the reverb right here. Stack two notes on top of each other. Those basically just follow the root notes that I put down in the main melody right here. So from D to A sharp to C. Right here. Add some low end to it. It goes up. So on the piano I used a low cut and some Valhalla Vintage Verb again. I believe I pitched the sample down 200 cents, yeah, so 2 notes down from the original melody. So I believe this is in C minor now. So for this melody I wanted it to be pretty repetitive but still sound cool, if that makes sense. So not just use 2 sounds but layer some melodies on top of it. So I went to Arcade and got this vocal. It's from the All Lit Up preset. I just be browsing through the presets for real, so I just turn all these knobs down and select the note right here, and I just see whatever sounds good. Just a little vocal chop. So for the effects, I just cut out the lows, of course. Put some halftime on it, because without the halftime it would sound like this. Some halftime on it. Next, I panned it out with Shaper Box right here, the pan preset, and I also put a little sidechain on it just to give it some bounce and just to pan it out. I'll give it more space. And I put some Vintage Verb on it again, and lastly, I cut out some of the highs because they were a bit harsh. So next, I wanted to add a little more layers than just these 3. So I went into my kit and I got this tubular bell. It's right here. Laid down 1 tubular bell. I just think it's hard, so that's why I did it. Put some EQ on it, cut out some frequencies, then I put like a delay on it with some reverb. So without the reverb and effects. Gives a little more ambience, if that makes sense. So next I still wanted to add 1 or 2 more sounds just to like fill it up a bit more. So I laid this down. So the way I did that is I just copied over the notes from the main melody and I took out the root notes. But I thought it was pretty busy. I used the Celeste, by the way, from Expand right here. It's in the Malice tab. Right here's the first preset, Celeste. Turned off the reverb because I wanted to add my own reverb, of course. So I just started out with cutting the harsh frequencies out. Then I put some halftime on it, but I did that at the end. I started out with the delay again with some reverb. Also cut out the harsh frequencies again. But I thought it was a bit busy still, so I added the halftime. But I still thought that the halftime, like, it didn't really do it for me either. So I automated it again to where it's no halftime in the beginning, and then it's halftime and it just repeats itself. And it just fades in. And it sounds very scary. So I just automated it where it fades in, and you create a whole different melody compared to if you use halftime or not. So that's really all the melodic elements. Next, I added a sub bass from Omnisphere. So I used the drama wheel bass. I don't know, it sounds unique. So with everything together with the bass, it sounds like this. Just follows the root notes too. Alright, so then what I did is I rendered everything out, because some presets tend to like change if you just play them over and over again. So I rendered everything out, and on this Celeste, I put like this little panning. So it pans out with the halftime from left to right. So yeah, then of course you have the main melody, the piano, the sub, and the vocal right here. Structured it out a bit for a loop. Alright, so next what I did is I cut up the tubular bell and put it every 4 bars instead of once every 8 bars. And I also made it unique and reversed it. So all the melodies like all together with the tubular bell and everything sound like this. So reverse this right here. So that sounds even crazier. So then I rendered out the whole melody right here, and I exported it, and I put drums on it. So let's get into the drums. Alright, so in the new project right here, I laid everything down, cut up all the stems, and I just laid it out. So I'm going to deconstruct that real quick. So yeah, I just started out with the main melody, the piano right here, and then the Celeste. Also the bass comes in after like 4 bars. Right here the bass comes in. And then it gets into the hook right here, which is 16 bars right here. So the hook got the tubular bell right here with the reverse. Then it got the piano and the main melody, and at the second part of the hook, the Celeste comes back in. Next we got a 16 bar verse right here. Got the main melody, got the piano, got the vocal right here. Added in the vocal only in the verse. Then the tubular bell and the whole verse. And at the last 8 bars of the verse, I took out the main melody. So you really got a lot of space as an artist at the second part of the verse. Yeah, that's a lot of space. And then it just goes right back into the intro, which I use as a bridge right here. Then it just repeats itself. Alright, so for all the drums, I use the sounds from my drum kit. Y'all already know. It sounds like this. Alright, so first I just followed the root notes with the 808. Start out with the 808. I almost start every beat of mine out with the 808. Just to get a foundation, like a little melody going, a little bounce going. Add a little low into the melody. I use the spins 808, just follow the root notes, sound like this. It goes down right here. So that's not rocket science, that just follows the root notes. Next I added the clap. Luger clap. Just basic, nothing crazy. Some highs going. So yeah, the way I did that is I just put one C4 right here. Just add some low into the highs. I don't know, I like to do that. Then I added a roll right here and right here. So basically the same roll comes back right here. Like every 2 bars, the same roll comes back. Then I put this one note down just to like give the listener the idea that a roll is coming, if that makes sense. It just sounds way better instead of having it right here. I guess it's a small difference, but I really think it sounds much better. Then got the same stuff going on right here, same stuff right here, but I added this little roll at the end right here. And I also panned these 2 out. It just gives some ear candy, like it gives some space to the hi-hats instead of them just being like directly in the middle. Next I laid down this little open hat. This accents the hi-hats. And that's what I like to do. I usually add the hi-hats first, and then I get like a little open hat and just accent the hi-hats where like it's still a bit like empty, so I just put like some open hats down. Also, before I forget, on the hi-hats I put a little reverse effect in Effect Tricks right here, so it kind of reverses. Sounds like a little reverse open hat, but I've seen Pyrex Whipper use this Southside like Effectrix. If y'all want your hi-hats to sound better or like sauce them up, use Effectrix. Effectrix is also in my top VSTs of 2023 list. Video should pop up either here or here, so go check that out after this video. So next I got the leak perk. Shout out 808 leak, and I laid this down right here. It just repeats itself right here. So yeah, that's once again same with the open hat, just to fill some empty areas up. And I did the same with the second perk right here. There's some little ear candy. Also comes back right here. Alright, so lastly I got the snare right here, and I put some delay on it with the automation clip. Y'all hear what the delay does at like the end, because it only affects the snare at the end. So I'm gonna just play it. Y'all hear the delay there. So I just got a little roll right here, nothing crazy, and I panned them out from left to right, like the last two notes. And what I did is I added the delay on it, so the delay kind of runs out right here. So I cut the hi-hat out at the beginning of the verse, and I just let the delay like blend out, and that gives for a really cool effect. So yeah, lastly I just added one transition, like a little reversed crash. Just gives that little like riser effect, if that makes sense. So I'll put it down right here, then from the hook to the verse, verse to the bridge. Hey, that's it for the structuring. Alright, so that's pretty much it for me today. If y'all like this video, make sure to subscribe, bro. We're close to 4K, like we're growing fast, bro. I want to thank y'all real quick. But yeah, make sure to follow me on Instagram too, and let me know what y'all want to see in the future. So yeah, that's it for me today. We'll catch you on the next video.